Hello everyone, Azilarinth here, and the October monthly revenue from the Sensor Tower report has been released. I like to take a look at this every month on the games that I currently play, as well as ones that I'm looking at playing once they release in global, see how they're doing on the CN side, just to kind of get an idea of the health of the game in terms of revenue. One big thing that with gacha space is a lot of time after they release, over time as players start to leave, the revenue will start to drop, and you kind of want to see them start to stabilize so that you can have a good feeling about the game having a good continued success in the future. Because with big thing with gachas is as players leave, it gets harder to get back into them. Especially, I've known that for myself. Because once you fall behind in those games, it can be kind of difficult to get back into it, unless the game has like a very proper power creep to make it a lot easier for someone newer to come in. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of them. Now, I don't actually play Genshin Impact. I didn't really get back into gachas back when this came out, and like with that said, I mean, it'd been a couple of years. I played it a little bit just to get an idea of it, but once you're so far behind, it just kind of feels like something you don't really want to get into at that point. So, but it's back up at the top. But the other one that's always near the top that I play, and I will continue to play pretty much the end of service of it, is Honkai Star Rail. Looks like they've gone down in revenue a little bit. I mean, they're still way up there. I mean, they went down a good chunk of amount, but I think this patch, so they had Rappa release, which I don't expect Rappa to sell very well, and it looks like most of their sales are probably just coming from some of those big reruns. And then, because I think Fei Xiao was on the prior month, if I'm not mistaken, when it came out. So this is kind of just that tail end of her. Ling Sha I didn't expect to sell very well. She's just another healer. And then we already had a good healer that kind of did everything she did. She just did it better, and it was Gallagher. So still very, very good on Honkai Star Rail. To me, a slower month. And with Rappa, and then we'll see on this month, Rappa is going to be the first 3 weeks, but then we're having the rerun of Adventurine and Acheron. And so that one I expect will probably be a big one, because Adventurine is very good for Acheron. I didn't pick him up on his first go around, but Acheron's kind of the main unit that I use in Honkai Star Rail, so I am actually picking him up with its light cone on this one. So I expect this to be a big month on this one. I expect it to go up. And then looking at these other games, I don't really care about other games that I haven't played or I ain't playing, unless it's something that I kind of have a little bit of knowledge in. I haven't really looked too much into any of these other top games. It's been a long time since I've played. I think I've played Fate Grand Order a while back, like originally when it came out, but then I kind of got out of gacha games for a while. But it's nice to see some of the older games holding on very well, because these kinds of games that hold on very well make me think, like with the Hoyoverse games, which are doing quite well even a couple of years into them. Hopefully they can continue that trend, and then they can be kind of like some of these other older ones that are doing completely well as well. So the other big one that I play right now is Wuthering Waves. So this one had a really strong launch. So it went down a little bit on the overall, 11.5 to 9.75, but that's not too much of a drop. There's still just under 10 million, and the drops are starting to slow down. I know it had that really big one right off the bat when it came out, but now that it's been out, I forget what month it came out. I think it was maybe May. So it's been a decent amount of time, and it's still making a large amount of revenue, enough to basically I don't have to really worry about them end of servicing anytime soon. This last one, I mean, they had a really low revenue, the one because of the free unit they gave out. And then this one, there hasn't been anything too significant. I think we had the biggest healer come out, but I think she came out the month prior, and now we're just on a rerun. So I believe Wuthering Waves it's kind of a dead patch, this one. So at 9.7, that's still fairly well for a fairly dead month in my opinion. So that's really good, because I plan to continue playing that game. The one thing I find hard with it is it does take a little bit longer in terms of doing my dailies. It's one of the negatives of the action-based games. It's going to be something that'll be a little bit troubling for me in the future, because some of the games that I'm looking at playing is going to be like Project Mugen, Everness to Neverness, and Azure Premilia. So when those big 3 ones come out, that's when I'm going to have to start really thinking about what games am I going to put on the back burner. Because right now I'm daily maintaining 6 games at this point. But that game I don't see me dropping, at least not anytime soon, so that's good to see they're still doing well. And then the big one that everybody that I've been playing in all my videos currently, we should see how is Sword of Convallaria doing. So overall in Sword of Convallaria down to 2 million. So it's still continuing the drop. If I'm not mistaken, when it came out for global, it was up to 10 million total for all of them. One of the big things with I think China is kind of the weak point on them. Let's see the numbers on the one where it splits up the regions. Let's see. Oh, I'm too far down. That's way too far down. Sword of Convallaria, 1 million. And then let's see, where's global? Oh, okay, here's global. So global's down from 1.1 to 800,000. This one's where it went down. This is the original server here. Down to 275,000. So, I mean, that can be kind of a bad sign. But we do have, I mean, it seems to be like it's going more towards a Western audience. Still a decent drop, and I mean, it dropped under the million, but there's also, we gotta think, I mean, I know I spend money on it, and I play it off of Steam, and I know, to me, I have it on mobile, but mobile's really just when I'm at work, and I just want to make sure I use my energy, but I don't predominantly play mobile. And a lot of the gachas, that's the same thing with Wuthering Waves up here. I mean, yeah, they're down to like 8 million, but I couldn't imagine playing Wuthering Waves on mobile. So they're making 8 million on that. So how much are they making on PC? Because it's so much better on PC. I can kind of see the same for that, but I don't really know the PC numbers. I think the Steam charts are fairly low, so I may just be an exception to that on the PC versus mobile difference. I do plan on getting a gaming mobile phone for my next phone up here soon. So maybe my opinion on playing them on mobile will change when I actually have a really good phone for doing it. Usually what you see with other gacha games is they eventually, in order to make it easier for newer players to get in, they're always power creeping the old units. So if you come into Honkai Star Rail like right now, yeah, you don't have any of the older units, but all the new units coming out, they're just going to be power crept and powerful enough to handle the content on their own. The only thing you lose out as being a new player when there's power creep is you're just not going to have the vast amount of units. But then as you start getting in, about a year in, you'll be at the same place everybody else is with a full team of the meta units at that point. So. But one problem Sword of Convallaria has is those talents, and I think that's one area where if they really want to, I wouldn't call it power creep, but they'll probably have to like add in a new tier to the talents and then make it really easy to get the HSR talent ones so that basically any new player can fill them out super quickly, and it basically resets the grind on the talents, because without doing something like that, then as a new player gets in, they're going to be permanently behind like a year, because those things come in so slow. And so it basically, and I don't know how much of an impact they truly make on the units. The weapons and the trinkets and the engravings add significantly more stats than those, but those talents add up when you kind of look through all of them. So that's the only area I see where they kind of have the trouble of a new player getting into it, because you're just behind. You're permanently behind on that with no real way to catch up unless they add another tier to it. But overall, still doing fine. I don't see any issues with it. I mean, there's games down here that have been around forever that have survived on significantly less income. And the other big one that I'm kind of looking at, now I didn't see Ash Echoes, which is a big game that I'm planning to get playing here in a couple of weeks. I don't even see it on this list, so I don't know how this tracks what games it is, but I don't see their revenue on here. But I mean, I don't even know how it works with mobile on that game. I'm playing that one on PC just like any other. But the other one that I know that I will be playing coming out, or expected, I think was coming out in December. I don't think it's a hard date yet, so they haven't actually made the true release announcement. Will be Girls Frontline 2. And looking at their income, I believe they're like just around the million mark, if I'm not mistaken. I might want to look at the general or the global one here first, or the one that combines everything. Yeah, Girls Frontline 2. So it was at 1.1 million, down to 825. And so this one isn't on the global market yet, so this is just on the CN side. So I mean, it's gonna be the exact same numbers here. So yeah, it's about in the same place. Same place that I think sort of Convallaria was at when Global came out for Global as well. But one big thing I know with Girls Frontline that I've seen in like their Discord is the original Girls Frontline game has survived on like no income for the longest time, and the only reason it's actually shutting down is not related to the income problem. It's something to do with I'm not a publisher, but they lost some kind of rights that doesn't allow them to have it online or something. So it's not even getting end of service for the revenue, and they've been pretty low forever. So that one I know it'll be in the lower revenue range. I expect it to probably do about similar, maybe a little bit less than sort of Convallaria, but it's definitely going to be a really fun game that I definitely will get into, and we'll just kind of have to see how it plans out when it releases. But yeah, to kind of wrap it up, if you like my content, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.